The snow was coming down hard when Daniel Reed's car pulled into the parking lot of the Stanley Hotel. Nestled in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado, the hotel looked majestic, white walls glowing under a gray sky, with pine trees bowing beneath the snow. But Daniel wasn't here for vacation. He was here to write. A struggling author, Daniel had read about Room 217, the haunted room where Stephen King once stayed. Rumors said strange things still happened there. People heard footsteps, lights flickered, and one woman claimed to have seen a ghostly maid folding clothes at midnight. Perfect, Daniel thought. I need inspiration. At the front desk, the clerk, a stiff man with pale eyes, hesitated when Daniel asked for room 217. It's under renovation, he muttered. Daniel leaned in, flashing his press credentials. I'm writing an article. Just one night. The man looked at him with something between pity and fear, then slowly handed over the key. Don't call the front desk unless it's life or death. Daniel laughed. Isn't it always? Room 217 smelled like lavender and age. An old chandelier swung gently overhead, though the windows were closed. The furniture was Victorian, elegant but worn. Daniel unpacked, set up his laptop, and poured himself a drink. Hours passed. He typed in silence, broken only by the occasional creak of the floorboards. Old wood, he told himself. At midnight, the temperature dropped sharply. Daniel rubbed his hands, reached for the heater knob, and stopped. The bathroom door had opened. Slowly, silently. He hadn't touched it. Wind, he whispered, though he felt no breeze. Curious, Daniel stepped inside. The tub was empty, the mirror fogged slightly, as if someone had just stepped out of a hot shower. A faint scent of lavender hung in the air. Suddenly, thud. Something fell in the main room. He rushed out. Nothing had moved, until he looked at his laptop. His unfinished document had been replaced with a single line. Get out while you can. Heart racing, Daniel shut the lid. He wasn't scared. Not yet. He had written creepier stuff. He opened the minibar, grabbed a tiny bottle of whiskey, and took a long swig. Then he heard it. Soft humming, a woman's voice, coming from behind the wardrobe. It wasn't the radio. He hadn't turned anything on. Slowly, he approached the wardrobe. His fingers trembled as he reached for the handle. The humming stopped. He yanked the door open. Empty. Then, the chandelier shattered above him, raining glass. Daniel dove to the floor, heart pounding. He grabbed his phone to call the front desk. No signal. The hotel's phone? Dead. And then the hallway light outside flickered, and he saw her, a woman in a faded maid's uniform, standing completely still. Her face was wrong, lips stretched into a too-wide smile. Hollow eyes stared directly at him. Then she walked through the locked door. Daniel tried to leave. The door wouldn't open. He pulled. Kick. Shove. Nothing. Then he heard footsteps. Not down the hallway, but inside the room. Behind him. He spun around. No one there. The mirror reflected his own pale face. But behind his reflection stood the maid. He turned. Nothing. The lights went out. Pitch black. Daniel fumbled for his flashlight and turned it on. Written across the wall in dripping red letters were 5 words. You're mine now, Daniel Reed. Panicked, he ran to the bathroom and locked himself in. The lights flickered. The tub was full now, overflowing with dark, inky water. And something was rising from it. A pale hand, then another, gripping the sides. A woman's head emerged, wet, eyes wide, mouth open in a silent scream. He screamed too and backed into the corner. The door burst open, but it wasn't the maid. It was himself. Another Daniel, face twisted, eyes bloodshot, grinning. You should have stayed home, it growled. Then everything went black. Morning. The hotel manager knocked on room 217. No answer. The door was locked from the inside. When staff finally opened it, the room was empty. Daniel Reed was gone. No luggage, no laptop, no sign of struggle. Just one thing was left behind, his phone. On it was a single recording, 32 seconds long. A woman's humming, a man whispering, "She's here." And a final scream. Room 217 is still closed for renovation. But sometimes, guests on the second floor hear typing late at night. And if you stand close to the door, you might hear the whisper, "Stay a while,